What's up, Tomasa? What's up? What's up, Jackson?
What's up, you guys? So I made some time to work on my E30. I am finishing up the wiring. I guess the only thing that I have to do is calibrate. So I am going to show you guys how to calibrate the wideband controller. I'm using the APS-X wideband controller. So I will explain to you guys how to do that. And I will explain to you guys all the wiring. So let's get started. Okay, you guys, so to calibrate, you need a magnet, which is what I have here. The APS-X controller, you gotta have your O2 sensor exposed to just air. You don't want it plugged into your pipe. And then from here, I have to go into the car, turn it on, and let it do its thing, let it cycle. So the reason why I have the magnet on my clothing here is because I need to touch the APS-X controller with the magnet while I turn the car on, so give it power. But I already had it wired into my car, so I kind of got to reach into the engine bay, turn on the key, and then let it cycle, and I have to look at what it's doing. A0. Shit, I can't see. A1. Six. There it is. That should be it. Now wait about 30 seconds, they said. It'll go to, that's definitely not 19. A0. There it is, programmed. Okay, so that's basically it on how to set the controller. So now that it's all wired correctly, I'm going to tape it up just to make it look nice, hide it, and that way you can't tell it's there. That's one of my main goals on my E30 build, is that I want it to be a sleeper. I don't want to have my intercooler showing, or I don't want anything showing, letting people know that it's boosted. That's just my thing, I guess. Last project, which is the E30 for my first tune that I've tried. Turn on the car. It's going to do its thing. And I'm just going to use controller settings because I do not want to load anything yet. So now in Tuner Studio, you go to Tools, Calibrate, which one is it? The AFR table. And I am using a custom linear wideband because I don't have the AEM brand, I don't have any of these brands. So this is, I guess, something that I have, or this is what they tell you on the APS-X. For your points on their website and their pamphlet, it says to use 0 and 5 volts at 9 and 19. So we can write that to controller, close it. Now, my AFR, they should be matching, which they are. Cool. before I go any further, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about this wiring harness. The way that it is working for me is, this is the stock O2 sensor wiring harness for the 325 IS that I have. What I did is I just cut the wiring harness and I connected that strictly to the APSX controller. On the wiring harness, you have your gray, your black, and your two whites. The gray on this one is your ground, black is your signal wire, and these two white wires are your heater wires. The reason why I have this one cut off is because I was trying to run it with this heater wire, which is number 4, but it kept popping the fuse for the APSX controller. So I went with number 3, and that happened to work for me. That was doing it correctly. So the heater wire is connected to power. So this is connected to your 12 volt, which is your red wire. This is also connected to the 12 volt on here. The gray obviously is your ground, so you connect both grounds to it. The APSX controller has a black, a red, green, and a white. I'm sure that all controllers or all wideband controllers have a similar setup, probably different colors, but for this particular one that I'm using, my green is what is powering the display that's in my dash. The white is your analog, and your brown is narrowband. Black is ground, red is power. What I did is I'm not using it on the side of, so this wiring harness that's going this way, that is connected to my dash. That's where my display is. So I'm not using it on that side. But anyways, the white side, the white wire on the APSX controller, which is over here, the white wire from here, I connected that directly to the number 2 wire, which is the black wire, the signal wire on the controller on the O2 sensor for the stock harness. That way I don't have to run the wire from the APSX controller into my ECU that's inside of the car. So I did it this way just to avoid all the extra wiring. I'm sure you can do it any other way, but this is what worked best for me. So remember, if you have your analog, you could just run your analog wire into your stock O2 harness. Just cut it off from the O2 sensor and you can use it that way. I forgot to mention the part that I disliked the most, which was I ran everything in red wire, which is not, I guess, the ideal way. I should have ran my actual ground in the black wire, but I'm a little too far now. So I think I'm just going to probably just put some tape on it to make it black and try to have it hiding as much as possible. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do, and if not, I will cut it as short as I can to here and just connect just another butt connector, or solder it together, which that's the way I'll do it. Solder it together and just run the black wire all the way through. That way you don't see this ugly red wire.
So all I'm doing is, I don't like those little wires kind of exposed like that. Just gonna tape around it, probably to like here, just to cover them up. I think it'll be better that way. So I had a couple of people not recommend putting your ground to this ground section. They say put it closer to the ECU, which is in the dash down that way. I haven't had any issues with it here, so just the time that the actual soldering came off, but that's installer error, I guess. But I haven't had any issues having it here. So I'm just gonna take this off, put some black tape on this to cover it up a bit, and yeah, that's it. By the way, these Milwaukee ratchets are the shit. So I tried putting black tape on this, but it looks pretty ugly. So I'm just going to leave it as is for now, and I'll leave it. And I'll tape it up, or I'll change the wire further down the line. But for now, I mean, it works good. I'm just gonna kind of close it up to here, tighten it up, maybe hold it with a zip tie or something, or probably just some black tape actually. So I finally finished the wiring again for the wideband controller. It's perfect, it's working great. I did take it on the drive today, so that was pretty sweet. I just gotta get it cleaned, it's fucking dirty. So yeah, if you guys like the video, you know, what is it, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will be posting a video, detailed video about the 5-lug swap, so look out for that. I will put out a video of the parts that's necessary first before I do that. That way you guys are ready for something like that. So I'll see you guys soon. Peace.